Chronicle. It's Coach Chris. Hold on. Down. Sit. Hut. Hut. What up, though? Shade to the audience. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Chris Chronicles. Went to go watch some hoops today. Went to go check out the Class 4A high school basketball. My little nephew made it out. Shout out to Laverne. Little nephew Landon Bryant. So figured I'd go out there and check out some basketball. It was 4 games today. First one was Maryville versus Cookeville. I didn't get a chance to see that one. I didn't pull up to the fourth quarter, but it looked like Cookeville pretty much had the game in hand. It really wasn't nothing to see for the most part. It's my second time seeing Cookeville play, and in the fourth quarter, when it was game on the line, time to cash in all the chips, number 1, number 12, put the team on their back, and they brought it home like they did the first time I seen them. Cookeville's a really good team. They solid, they disciplined, they don't beat themselves, and they're very well coached. Probably the favorite to win it all, if you ask me. But, yeah, Cookeville got the win. Second game was Bartlett versus Brentwood. Honestly, this should have been a blowout. Bartlett was way more athletic than Brentwood. Faster, quicker. Brentwood had a lot of heart. But Bartlett, they just couldn't really get it together. They'll start off good, go on some runs, but they'll let Brentwood back in it. Brentwood hit a couple shots. They had a good player, number 2. That was kind of their big dog. Everything pretty much evolved around him. They ended up Bartlett won 51-45. Honestly, they should have won by 15 to 20 points. But they hit some clutch free throws. They put it off at the end. Couple players to look out for. Number 2, he a solid point guard. Number 5, he a hooper. Number 25, he got good size, but I expect him to do more. If they actually apply themselves and they put pressure on the other team and they use their gifts, their God-given talent, they should make it competitive against Cookeville, but I still think Cookeville will take that one. Game number 3 was Morristown East versus Rossview. Now, this started off, first of all, Rossview got the best warm-up I done seen. Like, they be putting in work from their guards to the big men, then they swap. It's something to see. There's no excuse for anybody on that team not to be ready to play by the warm-ups that they do. I was very impressed by that. They looked like they had a solid team. It started off very competitive in the first quarter. It was a back and forth. Morristown hit a lot of threes, and that pretty much was their booster. It electrified the crowd, got their energy going, and Rossview just kept chipping away. But you can tell that they was the better team. It was competitive the first half. Second half, Morristown, the thing with them, they live and they die by the 3. In the second half, they died a slow death because the threes weren't dropping. You seen the heads get low. You seen the body language shift. Coach didn't make no adjustments. Everything they did was just threes, and they wasn't falling. And Rossview they came out with a rhythm, got everybody involved. They got a couple good players. Number 13, he a solid point guard. Number 5 is a dog. He a dog. Probably the best athlete I saw on the court today. Just flat out God-given talent. Number 5 on Rossview. Number 15 caught a body in the first quarter. Went straight up chest to chest. It was nasty. And number 22, he aggressive. He got some size on him. He missed a few dunks. But Rossview pulled it off 64-43. It got pretty ugly in that second half because Morristown weren't making it threes, and they didn't try to make any adjustments whatsoever. They just kept shooting threes, and they didn't fall, so they fell on their sword. But that game pretty much turned out the way I expected it to. Rossview was hey, they got a chance. They got a chance. My personal opinion, I think it might be Rossview and Cookeville at the end. Fourth game, went to see nephew play. It was Independence versus Laverne. I didn't know what to expect. I know they played preseason, I believe. I think Independence won by a couple points. So first quarter, very competitive. Second quarter, Laverne, shout out to that coach. I know that he's a hooper. I know he played at a high level. But I guess they try to make an adjustment in that second quarter and goes on. And that's where it started to go downhill from Laverne. So Independence started getting to the basket, and they started making shots, and number one went AWOL. In that second and third quarter, number one went AWOL. He went AWOL. But they started to pull away in the second quarter. Third quarter, it got ugly. It was pretty much a downhill slope for Laverne in that third quarter. The defense the rotations was awful. Number one went AWOL. Number 5 got involved. People started hitting threes, and they caught their momentum, and it was just hard to keep up. Fourth quarter, what I liked is Laverne, the coach took the leash off. He took the training wheels off finally, and he just let them just go out there and compete and just play under their own instincts. Number 12, he gets up and down the floor. Number 10, shout out to number 10. What's his name? Steven Sherman, sophomore for Laverne. He had the game of his life. He dropped 27. They let him loose. He was letting it fly. He was getting to the goal, floaters, layups, and ones. He played his heart out today. Number 12, Lenore, he played his heart out today. He dropped 22. Nephew dropped 15. They really got after it in that fourth quarter. They couldn't really make stops, but you saw Laverne compete. They didn't give up. They showed a lot of heart. Started getting buckets. They started fighting, scratching and clawing, getting steals. I wish Landon would have got a little bit more involved in the fourth quarter. He did his thing. He was kind of consistent first, second, third. In the fourth, he couldn't really get off. Number 12 and number 10, they was getting their shots up. But Laverne lost 88-74. It could have got a lot uglier if Laverne didn't fight back the way that they did. But Independence is a pretty good team. Number 1 ended up with 26 points. Number 5 was pretty good for Independence. That was decent. That was decent. They go up against Rossview on Friday. I think that should be a competitive game. I think Rossview will pull it out, and Cookeville goes up against Bartlett. I think that should be competitive, but I think Cookeville will pull it off. I think it'll end up being Cookeville and Rossview in the championship on Friday. But that was the 4A high school basketball tournament for day 1. I'll be tuning in. I'll be there again on Friday to see the Final Four, and then I'll probably pull up again on Saturday for the championship. All right, deuces.
All right. What's good, y'all? We just got done chopping up with Coach Chris Chronicles. Make sure you follow him on all platforms.
Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe, man. Good stuff coming. Good stuff coming. Definitely.